I hit live. Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's Megan Elizabeth from Life Above Rubies, and ready to host for you a brand new 30-day challenge. The 30-day challenge is something that I started and created a couple years ago at lifeaboverubies.com, and I'm so excited to be bringing it back to you guys in a really fun and simple way. We heard a lot of feedback that members had missed doing it in April. Typically, when we started it, we were doing it every April and September. And all through April, we were like, just kind of needing that jump start again. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Tammy. Thanks so much for popping on. So what I thought we would do for the month of May, even though there's 31 days in May, it's a bonus day. And I thought we would get through the 30-day challenge in a simple way. Typically, in the 30-day challenge, what I do is I walk you guys through a task to do each and every single day. We talk about doing clean eating and drinking a lot of water, using essential oils for a little bit of detox, along with doing a daily 3 exercise, which we're actually going to do. I'm going to talk about that for a minute. Reading Proverbs every day, and then taking action. And so this particular month, what I really want to do is just help everybody go through, I can't believe it's May. It's my birthday month. I'm going to be 33. I cannot freaking believe how fast the last 3 years have gone by. Like, zoom fast. Anyway, we have like so much happening this month. This week is really a lot of fun. And what I just wanted to do was jump in here live every day for the next 30 days. It'll be somewhere between 9 and 10 pretty much every morning for the next 30 days. Or for the month of May, I should say, is the plan. Yeah, I'm not sure why you're awake either. Good job. I'm glad you're up. It's just going to kind of depend on like how I get the kids up and settled in the mornings. Like mornings are a little bit, with homeschooling, have to be a little bit more flexible. But I'm still taking the action to do these things every morning. And so I wanted to just come on and bring them to you. Today I told the kids I'm probably going to take a little bit of time just so that I could go over what it is that we're doing. And yeah, go from there. So like I said, this is going to be a more simple version of the 30-day challenge. The full 30-day challenge, if you're interested in taking it again, all you have to do is go to lifeaboverubies.com. You can log in with your membership info, or you can join. It's just lifeaboverubies.com/join. You can join just for the month to do the challenge if you want, or stay a member and do all the different things we have, like Instagram training and YouTube training and blogging training and how to start WordPress and everything on mindset and thankfulness and everything in between is all available at lifeaboverubies.com if you're not already a member. If you're just a part of the group for the 30-day challenge, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. We are just going to have a ton of fun together. So this is not a Bible study challenge, but one of the things that I talk about every time we do the 30-day challenge is using one of the greatest success books ever written. I mean, there's everything in this book of the Bible. Everything, for instruction on practical living in your life. So I don't ever want to force my beliefs or anything on anybody else. I know that there are people that come from all different religions, all different backgrounds, all different things. But what I do like to do is have kind of a starting ground and a starting point to say, hey, this is what I believe. This is where I have seen so much success come from. Remove any other thing from it, and let's honor and love one another where we are at. I love and honor you where you are at. If you choose not to take part in this part of the challenge, I totally respect that. I still believe that the other parts will completely change your life if you take the action and do it step by step, day by day. Hey, Joe. Thanks so much for popping in. Joe and I are getting ready to do a blog hop this week, birthday, because it's birthday time, and she has some celebration stuff going on. It's going to be so good. So good. I can't wait. I'll share more information at Above Ruby Studio later. So what I challenge everybody to do for the 30 days is read a Proverbs a day. So just pull out a Bible. You can download a Bible on your smartphone, or just go to, I think it's just Bible.com, I think is pretty much what it is. It might be YouVersion. Well, there's YouVersion, which is what I usually use. You can listen to the Bible from your phone. You can download it. Like, it's so accessible, so you don't have to go out and buy a Bible. But just pick whatever day of the month you're on, pick a Proverbs that go with it. Now there's 31 Proverbs, and there actually are 31 days in May, but typically what I do is I kick off the 31-day challenge by reading Proverbs 31 to everybody, and I'm going to do that today because you can go back and read Proverbs 1 on your own. There will be days that I might read more Proverbs to you or with you. And then we're going to talk about the daily 3 and planning your days and your weeks that are coming up. I know this week is going to be insane. The kids have achievement testing. We have special services at our church. The blog hop, there's work stuff. Like, there's a lot going on, and I know we're going to get through it. So, good morning, coffee. Do you like my mug? This one says too much Monday. Not enough coffee. You know, there are days. And actually, what I'm going to do is this replay will be up. You'll be able to find each and every single day using the hashtag 30daysbyme, 30 days by me. So it's 30 days by you, 30 days by me. It's just an easy way to find it. And then you can do hashtag the day. There's a search bar in the group. And the group is Above Ruby's Purpose. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I'm going to put just the first day up on YouTube for others to find and see and be able to come join in our group and be a part of our daily lives. Okay? And you guys can invite anybody in. This is a totally free challenge that anybody can take part in, that if you do it consistently for 30 days, it will change your life. I have seen it change the lives of hundreds of women. Debbie, you've been here long enough. Tammy, you've been here long enough. You can attest to some of the changes that have taken place in your lives from doing the 30-day challenge consistently. Even though it can be hard to stick with something for 30 days straight, you start to build the habit and it starts to change your life. And it's life-changing in the way that matters to you. This isn't about reaching somebody else's goal. This is about whether you're looking to have goals in weight loss, in fitness, in your business, in your family day-to-day living. It changes. It changes your mindset. It focuses you in. You have accountability here. And I think you're just really going to benefit from being a part and being plugged in. And I think that this is going to be the first time I have the ability in a group setting to come live to you guys like this every single day. And normally what I do is, like, I've had all the videos pre-recorded. If you join Life Above Rubies, there are the pre-recorded videos of me talking to you step by step. Here's what you do today. Here's what we're talking about. Go do it and be your cheerleader. But I think this is going to be more intimate and accountable. So when you go through the challenges today and for the upcoming month, I would highly recommend, if you're posting about the day-to-day challenges and the daily 3 challenges, whatever it is you choose to post and to share, and I highly encourage you to, because it's going to keep you accountable and moving and motivated even when it feels hard. What you should do is use the hashtag, good morning, Cindy, hashtag 30 days by me, and then the hashtag day, and then the day number. So you'll do 2 separate hashtags, hashtag 30 days by me, hashtag day 1, day 2, day 3, etc., okay? So the times that I'll be doing is going to be anywhere between 9 and 10:30 in the morning. It's just going to depend on how the kids get up and moving and settled. With having the kids and homeschooling, I will keep it as close to 9:30 as possible, but I know there's going to be a little bit of variation. You can always check in on the replay, and like I said, this first one will be posted on YouTube, so hey everybody over at YouTube channel, I appreciate you guys watching, but come over and join the link, okay? Join it's Above Ruby's Purpose is our link to our exclusive group. It's an exclusive closed group just for people who are ready to take action and change their life, get encouragement, be inspired, and have a lot of fun together. Okay, so I'm going to read Proverbs 31. What many people don't know or haven't heard or seen, if you are new, and I know when I announced that we were doing a new 30-day challenge, we had over 40 people join our Life Above Ruby's group this weekend, which is amazing. So welcome all you new faces. And if you're new to me completely, I do want to tell you what this Life Above Rubies and Above Rubies Studio, where it comes from and what it means to me. And it started from Proverbs 31. And so I'm going to read Proverbs 31 today. I want you to take a little bit of time and think about the instruction that you find in Proverbs. There is solid life instruction through the book of Proverbs, regardless of your religious background. So, I am in love and passionate about the Bible. I love my God. I love my Creator. I love my Jesus. And I just know that apart from Him, I would have nothing. So I can't do this type of thing without Him, without His Word. And I know for some people that's like a scary thing and that's not how they feel. Again, I honor and respect you completely for where you are and what your belief system is. I just hope that you'll come on in and give it a chance to have the daily 3 challenges change your life, and to glean from the instruction, to glean from the wisdom of the ancient of days, you know? So, all right, here we go. I'm going to read Proverbs 31, and I'm going to give a little bit of note in between each one. I am using, there goes a picture. I believe this is the New King James Version. I have so many different versions of the Bible. I really feel like I should know. Yeah, this is the New King James Version that I'm going to be reading from. I have English Standard Version, New King James, and King James, and then I also listen to a New Living Translation when I listen to the Bible, and I like to kind of compare and contrast and pull from what the most original has to say to some of the more updated texts of, you know, they say the same thing, but I really like to compare and contrast, because sometimes I don't believe in taking away from the Word of God. I don't believe in adding to the Word of God. I like to add our thoughts and how it impacts our day-to-day application. But this is like where it's at. So anyway, this is the New King James Version, and I'm going to start reading. Okay. So, the first few verses is really, what is believed to be the words of the king's mother, and, just kind of talking to him, going into who a virtuous wife and a virtuous woman is, starting in verse 10. And so, we're just going to go right into where verse 10 is, because this is where the Above Rubies studio and Above Rubies purpose and Life Above Rubies came from for me, and even where kind of She Makes has stemmed from. This is, by any stretch of the imagination to me, and I'm going to give this little disclaimer, this isn't about, like, this is like achieving perfection, right? So we're all going to have struggles in our day-to-day life. We are all going to have areas where we fall short, areas where we excel. The goal in this is to build our character and our virtue, to really think about what these things really mean and how to better our lives. And that's part of why the Daily 3 means so much. That's why I encourage women in business. That's why I encourage your mindset. I encourage your heart. I want your soul and spirit to be uplifted, and why I pray over you and for you so very much, especially members of Life Above Rubies and in the group, and want you to have the accountability. So anyway, let's get started. We'll start at verse 10. It says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her worth is far above rubies." So right there it is. It's all about being a virtuous woman. It's all about the woman that leads this type of life. Now, by saying I'm Above Rubies Studio, or it's Life Above Rubies, or it's She Makes Club, it's not saying I've arrived. Just want to give that disclaimer. I still work on it every single day. Every single day. It was one of the hardest things to go through, saying I have Above Rubies Studio and I'm getting divorced. Like, it was really very challenging for me. I had to work through so many mindset blocks in that of who I am in Christ, because how can I say I want to be an Above Rubies woman and be divorced, right? Like, how could that happen? So that is why I'm saying to you, it's a daily, it's a conscious decision. It's an effort to be humble before God, to be forgiven, to take the steps and the actions. Anyway, I'm not going to like go off on a complete rabbit trail on that, but it was something for me, and I wanted to kind of note on it. So we're going to read. I really am actually going to read this. "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain." Being trusted. She is trusted. When you watch the beginning of the videos, it says she is, and there's a whole bunch, and I could put in a whole ton more, but they all come from this passage. She is trusted, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. Can I tell you, that one still gets to me when I think about my future husband, because I do plan on getting remarried someday. I do believe I will get remarried someday. I do believe God has that perfect man out there for me, waiting for me, missing me as much as I miss him. And I think about doing him good all the days of my life. I think about what actions and what are the things that I'm doing in the meantime. Like, I've messed up. I've done stuff that would really hurt him, even though I don't know who he is yet. And it's all the days. Just saying. "She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands." Hashtag she works. "She is like the merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household. Hashtag she provides. And the one that I hate to look at from time to time, and I'm not even going to lie to you, is she rises while it is yet night. I do not like to get up in the mornings. And this is part of my 30-day challenge for myself, again, is to kind of reset the clock and restart and get my butt out of bed earlier in the morning. I would much rather stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which I do often to work and do the things that I need to do, than to get up early. But there's also wisdom in getting up early and getting up before the kids and getting yourself ready to start the day happier than the kids being up and everything being chaotic before I start my day. Does that make sense? So, it's the truth. Anyway, she considers a field and buys it, and from her profits, she plants a vineyard. So there's 2 things in that one that I love. One, she profits. Guys, I think a lot of times as women, we're scared of money. We're scared of money mindset stuff. We get really caught up in different things that pertain to money and what we are worth and what we are not worth our paycheck or the money that we bring in, and it's what the value we bring to the marketplace is, and there should be profit. There should be profits in the things that we are doing and working. And the other part of this is she considers a field and buys it. The considering part of it always spoke to me as she's not impulsive. She is thoughtful. She's making conscious decisions in planning her business and her life. And that's part of what the Daily 3 is all about too. And I love that. So let's be conscious and let's be considerate and let's be decision oriented. Okay. It's good business. Absolutely. But sometimes we don't think it all the way through that way. And we're even told here, like, that's what she does. That's what she does. So let's do it. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. Okay. Strength. She is strong. Strong, you guys. If she's strengthening her arms, do you think that she's just sitting on the sofa eating bonbons and potato chips all day? No, there's probably some level of physical activity taking place to take care of her body, to be strong in mind, body, and spirit in all things. And it's not, I don't even think that it's just talking about physical strength. There's a strength inside, internally, emotionally, spiritually. She's strong. She's girding herself. What are the things that you need to do to strengthen those muscles in your day-to-day? She considers a paper pack from close to my heart and buys it. Hey, I'm not one for taking and adding to the Bible, but you consider and buy it, and then you can turn that into profits. I mean, I'm just saying. It is truly that. I mean, just because you are not planting a vineyard or a field, this is why I always say, your clients, your customers, your apple that comes to you isn't about just that one apple that you eat and you're done with. You got to use the seeds inside that apple. That one client has seeds inside of it. They have connections. They have people. If you do it right and you do it well and you work with them well, you're able to plant and reap back in. Okay. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. Now, I have no problem with the lamp not going out by night. I'm just gonna say. So she's up early, she's up late, she's doing it all. I'm not really sure when she sleeps. I'm not really sure when I sleep, to be completely honest with you. I think I sleep somewhere between like 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. into 8, 9 a.m. And I still know your body needs sleep. Your body needs sleep. So this isn't saying do not sleep. I'm positive of that. I know for me, if I'm not getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I get very sick. I can't function. And God designed our bodies to rest. Okay. So when you read this and you see that, I don't want anybody to think, oh gosh, okay. So if it's staying up late and going to bed, getting up early, and it's night both sides, when am I sleeping? I don't want anybody thinking that. Okay. Christina, thank you so much for joining us. I think you're going to have so much fun. You can watch the replay from the beginning, and I explain everything, and we're going to dive into our Daily 3 as soon as I get through this, and I'm going to try to go a little faster because I want to just keep talking. I love this so much. Okay, so her lamp doesn't go out by night. She perceives that her merchandise is good. She is perceiving the value that she is bringing to the marketplace. The value that you bring to the marketplace is always going to be the thing that increases your bank account the most. It's going to be the thing that gets you the most clients. It's going to be the thing that stands you out and makes you this virtuous woman. Because I tell you what, firsthand experience, I'm not saying I've arrived and I'm that, but I know 9 out of 10 women are not looking to add virtue and character and strength and do these things in their life. They're floating. And you guys are here because you're not floaters. You guys are here because you know you're one of those 9 of 10. You are the 1 of 10, not the 9 of 10. Sorry, I said that wrong, and I hope I didn't offend anybody because I just realized how I blurted. I'm saying you're here taking action and you're doing these things, and you might not have it all together the same way I don't have it all together, but we're taking the action to rise up, to rise to the top, to be in that top 5% of the population that says, no, I'm going to have financial freedom. I am going to have business life and balance the way I was called to freedom. I'm going to have forgiveness, and I'm going to love fully. I'm going to care for my kids. I'm going to do this. And so many people just go, yeah. Life just happens to me. You don't know what I've been through. It's been so hard. And they spiral, and they spiral, and they spiral. Rise up. Add value. Okay. She stretches out her hand to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor, and she reaches out her hands to the needy. She helps. She helps, you guys. She is there for those in need. There are people that legitimately cannot care for and do and be, and she is there, coming alongside, pulling them through, helping them where she can and needs to be. She is not afraid of the snow for her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. I love that. She makes it for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. So maybe, just maybe, the yoga pants and the messy bun every single day isn't exactly caring for yourself the way that a virtuous woman should be, looking well and taking care of who she is. Yes. Her husband is known in the gates, and when he sits among the elders in the land... Wait, yeah, well, did I read that right? I don't have my glasses on now. I just think I read that wrong. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. I did read it right. I'm sorry. I just didn't add the comma in there. There's a comma. She makes linen garments and sells them. Hey, look, she's planting a field. She's doing other merchandise. She's doing linen garments. I'm taking this as she's a little bit diversified, you guys, in what it is that she is doing for her business. She's not counting on just one income stream. And that's aside from her husband. Anybody catch that? Anybody? Okay. So she has a field and she has profits from that. She sells linen garments. She makes tapestries for herself. Hashtag she makes, guys. She makes. Just saying. There was another one in there. There's a diversity in what she is doing and what she is profiting from. All right. And supplies sashes for her merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. And there's another translation of that I love. When it talks about she is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. This verse, guys, how many times are we afraid? How many times do we get in our own head and in our own way? If we are girding ourselves up with strength and dignity and holding on to honor as our clothing, as what we are putting on every day, and we have to choose to put it on, guys, like we have to choose to put on a bra. And I'm sorry if there's men here going, really, Megan? But yeah, for real, as ladies, we've got to we have to choose to gird ourselves up, right? I mean, we got to go from bottom on out, right? Part of choosing to put on our clothes every day is choosing to put on this emotional mindset, the spiritual mindset of strength and honor and dignity. She will rejoice in time to come. She's going to have a blessed future. I'm sorry, my allergies are so bad. It's ridiculous. She opens her mouth with wisdom. Hashtag she is wise. That's a hard one. Wisdom and knowledge are not the same thing. You can know all the stuff in the world, but unless you are executing that knowledge with wisdom, you're not going to get very far. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow when I realized how much I know, especially in the technology world, how much I know about social media and about blogging and about WordPress and about hosting and all these things. I have this huge knowledge base of things that I know. And I realized I had this big executing it with wisdom. I have not done. I have not walked in wisdom. I have not walked in light. And I don't know what all that means, but now that it's to my attention, guess what? Yikes. I don't know if you guys are talking in here either. I don't see any comments again today. I just see you guys popping in again. I mean, unless you guys aren't saying anything. So if you're saying something, can you just give me a little like, hey, what's up? Just so I can see if I can see the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to have to bring my computer in again to read comments. So I'm sorry about that. Okay. On her tongue is the law of kindness. You know how many women cut each other down and there is like no kindness in them whatsoever? I was just having a conversation with somebody about that yesterday. And we just said, you know, we're done with the noise of this particular group of people. It's noise. It fills you, it tears you down, it rips you apart, and you get sucked into it before you know. You get sucked into, okay, I just saw a we are listening. Christina, thank you so much. I see your comment of listening and reading your Bible. I'm so thankful for that. Okay, so keep going. She watches over the way of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Guys, there are a lot of women out there who they just don't want to take the action. And it can be really difficult. It can feel really, 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 really challenging. Like it's easy to just do the bare minimums. Like you kind of just get into a routine and a rut and a thing, and you just go, right? And you just kind of do, and you get idle. And busybody, gossipers, idleness, they just lead to destruction. They ruin relationships. It ruins your legacy, what you leave behind for your family, so many other things. So don't eat of the bread of that. Don't binge on the carbs of grossness. And it's easy to do. Now, there's a time for rest, okay? Do not confuse, and there's times where I have, do not confuse idleness or laziness, okay, with resting. There are times where you need to rest, and you need to just let your mind and your body and your soul heal, especially with chronic illnesses. There is a distinct definition, and I think in your heart of hearts, you will know. I have known, you know, am I just being lazy right now because I don't feel like taking the action and calling it rest? Or is it really time that my body needs to rest? And 2 weekends ago, there was so much. I think it was 2 weekends ago. Maybe it was 3. March and April have been so incredibly challenging for me, between my sister's cancer diagnosis, relationship things that I've gone through, kind of having some like heartbreak and personal issues there that just really kind of rocked my world and who I was. And I learned so much through it in a short period of time because I decided like I need to. And then I had court, I had things that happened with my son's father, all this stuff happened, right? And realizing like, okay, you need to rest. You need to rest in God's word. You need to veg out a little bit. You need to sleep a little bit more. You need to just rest. That's not being lazy, okay? That's not being idle. Just learn to discern the difference. There are differences. You have to be wise to discern it, okay? Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, he praises her. Her children rise up and call her blessed. That is like, if nothing else happens in my life. The day that Benson came to me and said, Mommy, I'm so proud of you, there is no greater joy. There is no greater joy at all in life. And that is my heart's desire, that, you know, they come first above Above Ruby Studio, above She Makes Club, they come first. Their homeschooling comes first. And it's a challenge, it's a struggle to put those pieces together well. It is. It's not always easy, but it can be done. And I'm so thankful for mentors like Sandy Krakowski and Danny Johnson, who have multi-million-dollar empires and encourage people all over the world and have built these huge brands over the last 15, 20, 30 years that homeschooled their kids, that was a single mom at one point in time, that have been through some of the crap and junk that I've been through, to go, hey, whoa, that's like almost creepy to say, look where you're going. Look to me, look to God, Megan Elizabeth, look to me. This is God talking to me. Trust me, believe, do, go. And he may be calling you to the same and more, because your story, your background, your past, your crap, your actions now completely determine what's going to happen 10, 20, 30 years from now. What your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews are going to have to say about where you are. What hours do you homeschool, and do you have help from others to help you homeschool? Okay, so I want to get back to this. I want to answer that question. Christina just said, seasons of motherhood. Yes, it's trying, but we are doing this for God. He gave us the children. Yes, there's seasons in all of it. And there is a balance in all of it. And it's not about taking so much massive action. I hate the word hustle. Like, I hate the word hustle, because it is about the balance. It is about your business and your life, and taking appropriate, focused action, partnering with God with belief and heaven to do the work he has set before, and do it well. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing it for? What is your why? Ecclesiastes says it's all vanity anyway, but to fear God, but to love him, to glorify him, and to leave that for future generations. And this is why God invented coffee. Amen. I didn't know you were here, Joe. Hi. Hey, Melissa. Thanks so much for joining. It's why God invented coffee. So typically I do online homeschooling. I use timeforlearning.com, and I also use BrainQuest books. And I want to get back to this. So what happens is the kids have online teachers as well. So I'm there as their support, but they have all the testing, all the timing, all of everything is done in the modules of Time for Learning, from their math, their social studies, science. We do science projects and things, together. We do field trips like Franklin Institute and history museums and all of that stuff. We actually have something fun planned coming up. This week is their achievement testing. And then my mom does try to help with the kids from time to time. It's a little bit of a challenge to get some of the help. And that's why I end up working so late at night, and I'm not an early riser, because we typically will start school around 9 o'clock in the morning, between 9 and 9:30. Like, it just kind of depends on when we get up. But between 9 and 9:30 in the morning, and we typically will go till about 1:30, sometimes 2 o'clock. And we typically will just go straight through and then eat lunch after we're done school. It just depends on how much we have to do that day. And then the rest of the afternoon, the kids kind of play outside, or, if they can't play outside, they'll entertain themselves with Legos. Excuse me. We go to the YMCA a couple times a week. We are members of the YMCA. So we do swimming and exercise and all that good stuff. And then typically what ends up happening is later in the afternoon, if they're occupied or they're having quiet time or playtime or whatever, I'm able to get in and do some of my one-on-one coaching calls. My mom will take them sometimes for my one-on-one coaching calls, and do that stuff in the afternoon. And then pretty much when they go to bed, usually by 8:30, then that's when I'm really diving in to do my focused work and the work for the next day. And that's why my live streams tend to be at 9:30 at night, because I have an hour to emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically prepare for what it is I'm going to be speaking about at 9:30, and then go from there. So that's a little bit of what my personal, what works for me. And I know some of it needs to shift and change. But that's what it typically has been. And, I don't always work until 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't want anybody thinking she's up till 2 every morning working. But I do it pretty much at least until 11 o'clock at night. I am, and I have been consistently working at least 4 nights a week, on She Makes, Life Above Rubies, and Above Ruby Studio is really just kind of like here as like a platform and a side hobby that kind of holds and contains information, but the meat of what I do comes from She Makes Club and Life Above Rubies, and then inside the groups of Facebook Live and all of that stuff, which is so amazing. I'm so thankful for that platform and that outlet that God has placed me here for such a time as this, because it's amazing. It's amazing to learn the skills and to build and to invest and to grow, and I like to just be present for that. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so we just finished reading, on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household. She does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. And then verse 29, it says, in quotes, many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. She's known by her works, guys. She's known by her work. She is known by her excellence. She is known by her diligence. She is not known by her most amazing charm and flattery of the tongue. She is not known by her gorgeous model-like appearance. She's known by what she does, by how she treats others. What are you known for? What are you being known for? Okay, so I really thank you for sticking through and listening to that whole thing being read and being part of it. Now, I challenge you to go read Proverbs 1, which Proverbs 1 has some amazing instruction that kicks it all off. And I'm going to actually, I did put my bookmark there. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom. Yes, wisdom and knowledge are not the same thing. Ask for wisdom. All right. So, for the 30-day challenge, I decided to grab a brand new blank notebook that is a Moleskine. It's not a very big notebook, but I'm using this one for this particular 30-day challenge. It is my birthday month, so May 18th, I'm going to be turning 33. I'm super emotional. I shouldn't say emotional, but emotional is a good word, because I feel like I'm excited that I have another year to celebrate. I'm super pumped. I'm 33. I've got some years behind me. I always, times in past, at 23 thought I'm too young. And then there's times where I'm singing, I don't know about you, I'm feeling 22, everything will be alright. I'm serious. I don't feel I feel young, and then I get around 27-year-olds and I'm or 27, 22-year-olds and I'm oh, I am getting older. Or 23-year-olds or whatever, you know what I mean. It's just funny. I'm excited. I'm also wow, years are going by really fast. Anyway, so what we're going to do as part of this challenge is our daily threes. And our daily three, if you haven't ever done one of our 30-day challenges before, is the 3 things that you are thankful for today. The 3 things that you are committed to taking action on today, and then your 3 long-term goals, and writing them out every single day. So part of what I like to do is have a separate notebook. So I do have, for example, in my passion planner, and if you have a passion planner already and you just want to keep doing it in your passion planner, that is great. But because I'm doing this as more of a challenge, I'm sharing it, I'm doing a separate notebook. I'm just going to show you really quick why. So in here, let me just find the pages where here are some of my daily threes. I've been writing them just in the week slots, just broken out and kind of just scribbled in, just so that I'm staying in the habit of doing a daily 3. All right. But, I don't have May started at all in here, and I've got to get on that. Today's the 1st, and typically what I do the last week of April is plan out May. And I haven't done that yet. So my passion planner is in my purse with me at all times. It is my day timer, which I typically just use the month view for. And then it's my daily 3 thing. And then it also, in the very back, I have other goals and notes, and I have grid paper, a lot of stuff back here that plan out and write out goals and all kinds of different things that come to me as part of life and business and why and a year in pixels, all that stuff. So I'm going to start on May, but you can use whatever you have, okay? You can use a piece of scrap paper and write it down. The purpose is to engage your mind in actually taking the practice to write it down and holding yourself accountable to those 3 tasks and looking forward to the future without fear and saying, this is what I'm working towards. Now, it's not holding on to that goal so tightly that you're not flexible in what is happening and what is doing and what changes and what shifts in life, because your goals do change as life progresses. But at the end of the day, you have a hardcore why and what that you are doing. Some have a financial goal, some have a weight loss goal, some have a character building goal, some have a kid goal, some have they have all kinds of different things. So your daily 3s are your 3 things you're thankful for, your 3 action tasks for the day, and your 3 big goals. So it can be your goal for the year, 3 goals for the entire year. Like, what do you want to have accomplished by the end of 2017? It could be a goal that, is a 5-year goal. What are those like big things that you're looking forward to that you are able to say, okay, today, these are the 3 small action steps I can take towards that goal. So is it just a goal for the next 30 days? Okay. Is it just something that you want to take for the next 30 days? So what I end up doing, I just got it's a Moleskine journal notebook here. I want to keep it kind of nice. So I'm going to start it up. I want this to be a little bit creative and fun as well. Part of what I like to share and do sometimes is like pick a verse out in Proverbs and like creative handwriting with it. Now, I don't have amazing creative brush lettering skills or handwriting skills in any way, but just grabbing different color markers and engaging that creative side and meditating on that verse is hugely impactful. I love Lila Higgins' hand lettering course. If you're interested in that, grab it, go take it. It's awesome, worth it. Just saying. It says like right in the beginning, as a reward, and it has like a $sign. Like, if you return this to me, like, no, I'm not going to pay you to return my journal to me if I happen to lose it. I'm just saying. I mean, I guess some people would. So here's what's going to happen for me. I'm going to write day 1 at the top. I'm also going to write Proverbs 1 at the top. Obviously, your Proverbs are going with your day. You can use creative color markers or whatever. But I'm going to write thankful. All right. I'm going to write, this is going to be a little bit more thought out than kind of my bullet points in my passion planner that I've been doing. So in my passion planner, like you can see, if I'm going to be really honest, why is it so hard to find this page when I want to show it to you? Like, it's really just scribbled in their bullet points, right? Okay. I think you can do it just as scribbled in their bullet points, you guys. You'll know, and it's still the habit and the part of doing it. But I think I'm going to write a little bit more detailed this time. So, thankful, action, and we also have a daily 3 print off at lifeaboverubies.com. If you go to the free downloads, there's a printout, so you can just print out the sheet for every single day. Totally up to you. I am so glad this is inspiring to you. I'm so excited to do this every day. I know this one's taking a little bit longer because I was setting it up. I'm not going to read through Proverbs completely like that every single day. It'll just take too long with the kids, but I want to get on and I want to do the daily 3 with you. I want you to post your daily 3. I want you to talk to me about what some of your goals are. If you're really struggling and feeling like I just don't really know where to focus or what my purpose is or what I should be doing for the next 30 days, you can dive in and take the full 30-day challenge, because like I said, this is just a little bit more of an easier version to just get you in the habit of like thinking about your goals, thinking about what you're thankful for, and taking an action step every single day versus me telling you what to do every day in the 30-day challenge. So I'm actually, because it's the beginning of the month, I'm thankful that it's May and it's a new season. And I'm actually going to write, I am so thankful that, like, I'm writing the whole thing. I'm not just doing the bullet points, because sometimes I'll just write like kids, breathing, water. Like sometimes that's what it feels like in a day, right? Like, let's just be honest. Some days you just feel a little bit like, like my kids are like, I'm not thankful for anything today. And I'm like, you're breathing. You drank water. You had food on the table. You are thankful. You will be thankful for these things. And there's days where you feel like that's what you're writing. And then there's some days where you're like, I am so incredibly grateful and obsessively thankful that this happened. I am so amazingly grateful that my child accepted Christ. I am so incredibly thankful that I saw this change take place or had this shift. I'm so incredibly thankful that this person showed up in my life at just the right time. I'm so incredibly thankful that I learned this valuable lesson. Meet with a personal trainer and manager to plan out schedule for internship. Yay! 1 week before start. Okay, so you better get on some of the goals that you have for that, Debbie. A new season. And I'm starting to get the knocks on the door, so I'm going to have to go really soon. So, thankful. I feel like I had this whole thing of like what I was going to write and be thankful for. Like, I mean, there's so much to be thankful for, right? So, I'm going to actually write starting new challenge and thankful for 40 plus new participants. So welcome again, and welcome whoever else comes. I would love to up that number. Starting new, thankful. Okay. I'm also so thankful for the lessons and wisdom from close friends and family who have encouraged, I'm writing and reading and saying it at the same time, which is like, I'm trying to write faster, who have encouraged hope, healing, and life into me this last month. Like I said, this last month was a little bit of a crazy thing. I told most of you I was kind of seeing somebody, and I got really like, it kind of was moving a little bit crazy for me, a little fast emotionally. And some of this like all came out as it unfolded. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I ended up feeling just like very hurt and very like, what is going on? I'm now speaking with them again, but I don't know, like, I'm trusting God in this, like completely trusting God in this, because I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I know I had to learn so many different things in that. And I'm sharing that very openly and vulnerably, so don't use it against me, because it's just the truth. And I'm just thankful for the wisdom and the encouragement of friends and family who are godly and are looking out for the best. So I'm leaving that. Okay, my action steps for the day. Number 1 is going to be encouraging and having fun with my kids through their achievement testing. They're going to have a week. We also have special meetings at church this week. It's going to be a very busy week. And so I want to make sure, like, they're at their best and feeling encouraged and inspired. And so that's going to be a big action, like, priority for me today. Number 2, I'm actually a part of a blog hop this week. So I have, blog hop prep to do and share. So I'm going to put that down. And if you're interested in learning more about that, just follow Above Ruby Studio. You'll see it. So what do you have? What are your 3 action steps? Like, you have to do this today. What are you doing today? Some days it's like, I take a shower. Some days it's like, you know, diving in deeper. Another thing that I want to do and I have to do today is some follow-up work for Life Above Ruby's members. So I have to write like follow-up. These are just, sometimes we can make such a huge, long to-do list that we get so overwhelmed we shut down. This is to prevent the shutdown overwhelm. Pick your 3 priority items that you know you can accomplish and do, and stick to them. These are the things, that action steps that are going to focus you towards those bigger goals. You have to be able to kind of RPM it, okay? So it's getting the most results for what it is that you have to do. So you just have to be able to like set a list, figure out what do they fall into. Like, okay, if you have a big master list, and I do have a master list of things to do, and I talk about that in the 30-day challenge, to keep a running master list, but then to take from that master list and that master to-do list or to-da list and the master goal list, picking out the 3 priorities and what is going to get you the most results for the minimum like that you have to do, okay? Because sometimes, like, to take massive action, you can't do more than these 3 tasks in a day. It doesn't mean you don't still brush your teeth and wash the dishes or do the laundry. Sometimes that's what you put on the list so you feel accomplished. I get that. But what are the things that are going to go to the next level in your goals? I know follow-up, like, I love the saying, the fortune is in the follow-up, because what happens is we forget to do the follow-up. We forget to do the closeout of the month end. We forget to follow up with our customers and our clients. We forget to check in with people that we need to check in with. And you're not taking care of your vineyard. You're not planting the seeds and doing well with your seeds to reap the harvest later. So follow-up is really important, and I know that's going to get me towards the next goal. The blog hop is something I committed to, and I don't want to drop the ball, and so that needs to happen today. All right, so follow up for Life Above Rubies, and then anything else you can grab from that list later. But what are the 3 actions that you are committing to? Okay, I have to get the kids through testing. I have to do that stuff. I have to make sure everything's in order and they're where they need to be and doing what they need to do. All right, so then you have the 3 goals. So I have some really big long-term goals. Okay, I want to own, for those of you who don't know, I want to own a big, huge unit that houses and helps single parents get back on their feet after a death, a divorce, a abusive situation, people that do not want to abuse the system. They don't want to become victims to a system, because the system traps especially women in a nasty loop that if you make too much money, you can't get benefits, but if you don't make enough money, you get benefits, but then you're like trapped in this, like, I can't live and make money and feel free. Like, there's no freedom in that. And I know that the same thing can actually happen to men when it comes to like child support and all these other things that kind of gets thrown in the mess of what happens in divorce or in abuse situations or in all kinds of different things. And it happens on both sides. So I'm not just saying like, but my heart is in for women that have truly been in situations where they need to learn to build up their skills in the marketplace and build up their value in the marketplace and get through and not become stuck in a system that sucks. You don't want to be a victim to the system. You want to build up your skills and go forth and make and leave a legacy and be that Proverbs 31 woman. And my heart is all in for that. So I want to train up women. I want to have a safe place for them to be. And that's a 10-year out goal. But it's always like in my mind of, okay, what are the things that need to happen to get there? What are the things that I need to be doing now to prepare my heart, my soul, my spirit, my business? Because it's going to take finances. It's going to take a lot of different things. And there has to be a belief and everything in place. Now, I don't have all of it figured out and mapped out of how I'm going to get there. I don't even need to know how I'm going to get there. I just believe that somehow, some way, I know what I need to do. I know it's going to cost about $10 million to start it. That's what I know. So how it's going to come, maybe an angel investor will come along and be like, here you go, Megan. I don't know. But I'm going to keep that goal in front of me. And I have different ways of wording it to say, even though I don't have it now, this is where I'm going, and keep it in front of me. So it's help. And here's the other thing too. When you set goals, especially when they have numbers and dates and different things to them. I was talking with this with one of my one-on-ones. Sometimes what happens is we set these goals and we'll say, I need 100 people to be a part of this, which is great. I want a goal of 100 people to be a part of this. And what happens is we get fearful. Like, well, what if 100 people don't do this? What if 100 people don't want to be a part of this? And the fear and the mindset and everything that kind of creeps up and in and around us will take action or just take hold and prevent us from taking the action because we get afraid. And instead of looking at it from the standpoint of, well, what if I get 80 instead of 100? Am I really going to feel like a failure if 80 people joined instead of 100? And sometimes in our hearts we go, yeah, I'm going to feel like a failure. I didn't reach the goal of 100. It's not 100%. If you're a perfectionist in school, you always wanted 100 or an A+ or, 4.0 grade average. And if you got anything less than the 100%, you felt like you failed. You felt like you didn't do well if you only got a 98%. Even though it was still an A, you still feel like you failed because you didn't get the 100%. And what happens is, if you don't take the action at all, you're actually getting an incomplete. You're getting a 0, okay? Because you need to learn the lessons. You need to learn the lessons. If you fall short of the 100, what needs to happen the next time to get to the 100 or the 120 or the 150 or the 5,000? Don't settle for 0. Don't settle for 0. Don't settle for an incomplete. Don't settle for being like 95% of the world out there. Take the action. Take the action towards the big goal. Set the goal. Dream big. Do it. Okay? Take the daily steps towards whatever that is. And you have to think on them daily. That's why I say write them down every single day. Every single day. You don't have to write a big, long, huge description, but you need to know where you're going. You need to know what it is you want. You need to know why you want it. Otherwise, it's all vanity anyway. It's all pointless anyway. You need to know. Okay. And these goals should be measurable, attainable, etc. I always struggle with how to word this one because I have fear and mindset issues around it. I do. It's a heart and mindset and issue, because I think that even for the last couple years, I've been kind of putting it out there, but then I get fearful. And I think a lot of different thoughts that I know I shouldn't think, but I do. And I have to work through it. And I have to constantly lay before God in prayer and with my friends and with people that are my accountability partners, with my coaches, and with people that I work with. But, holding on to the goal, even when it feels like it's so far off. Even when it feels like, is this ever really going to happen for me? Is this even a realistic goal for me to have in my life? Is this a goal? Like, have you ever asked that? Like, is this a goal? And to me, it is a goal. Because even if the goal doesn't happen, okay? Like, even if I never actually attain what it is I want, I need to be preparing myself every single day as if this goal has already happened, and I know that. So I need to be taking action in my life. When I said earlier in Proverbs 31, like, she does him good and not evil all the days of her life. There's a preparation happening all the days of my life, starting yesterday and today and the day before and the day and tomorrow. All the days of my life are happening, whether or not I ever actually find the relationship that I'm meant to be in. Okay. And there's times where I'm like, God just wants me to be single. I'm just going to be single the rest of my life. And then there's other times where I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be single the rest of my life. And I go through this like up and down. And I know I don't need anybody saying anything to me about it. And I'm just going to say this. Like, I don't need anybody telling me about it. I realize this is my own mindset thing, right? So I write it down because it is a heart and mindset of preparing my heart and myself for God to completely come in and fill me to be the best wife that I can be, to be the best mom that I can be, to prayerfully be prepared and ready for such a time that God would either bring the right person along or that the right person, if he's already here, see it and be ready. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's a heart and mindset. Okay, so I have to remind myself. Shoot for the moon, land on a star, at least you went for it. Amen. Okay. So, finally, the third thing is actually a business goal. So I really do want to have a specific number impact. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there. I don't have a specific set, like, if I don't reach it by this date, I'm going to feel like X, Y, or Z. I have seen things that I have set goals thinking this is such a low goal, it'll be no problem to reach it, and I'm so far from reaching it, it like makes me sick. And then I've set like moderate goals where I'm like, maybe it'll happen in a year or two, and I've exceeded it in like the first week. Like, the DVDs were a great example. We thought, okay, 500 DVDs, maybe in a year or two we'll sell through them. We sold 500 in 2 hours, sold out. 100,000 DVDs a year later. Like, what? How did that happen? That was God. That was setting a goal. That was taking action. That was working with purpose and doing the best. And like Ecclesiastes says, you don't know. You don't know what will succeed and what will not. But you have to do the excellent work in the meantime. So take the action. Take the focus steps. Learn the skills. Implement the wisdom. Do what you need to do. So I have a business goal of impacting and reaching, specifically within the groups, 3,000 women in the group. Okay, so I have a 3,000 group goal. And so I'm telling you, and I'm putting it out there and keeping it in front of me. So what are the things that I need to do to get that in action and happening? That there's marketing involved in that. There is reaching out. There is being faithful in each apple, in the seeds that are in each apple. There is asking for help. There is connecting and networking and doing a whole bunch of other things that go into this 3,000 group goal. So if I have a 3,000 group goal, what are some of the action steps that need to happen up in my daily threes on a regular basis? So for one, it's the follow-up that I already have on there, okay? Encouraging the kids is a whole big part of number 2 in my long-term goal. For example, it's the heart and mindset of myself, of my spirit, of who I am and where I'm putting my efforts forth, being complete and whole. That affects my kids dramatically, even if there is never that other partner standing beside me. That affects my kids. So that is a big part of the goal. And so that's in the action for the day. All right, guys. So I literally shared my heart and vulnerability completely. Please go back and read Proverbs 1. I know this was a long video. My kids are losing their minds. I am sure this was way longer than I desired it to be. For today, not every day is going to be this long. We are going to get in. We're going to talk about our daily 3. We're going to encourage Proverbs reading. If you want to do the entire challenge, it typically takes about an hour to an hour and a half every single day in Life Above Rubies doing the full 30-day challenge. Otherwise, just come back every day. Share your goals with us. Share what you're thankful for. Be inspired, be encouraged, grow with us, and it will change your life. It really will. When you take these action steps every single day, now it's not just writing it, it's not just hearing it, it's actually doing something about it. It's a very simple task. 3 things every day, okay? 3 things. You can do this, I promise you, and it will, when you focus your efforts, it will change your life. It will completely change your life. I've seen it happen for hundreds of women now over the last 2.5 years of doing these challenges where it's incredible the results that come out of it. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much for your time today. I will try to pop in later tonight. I'm not exactly sure what time it'll be. We have special meetings tonight, but I want to pop in and just see how your day was. And it'll probably just be right before I go to bed. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning somewhere between 9 and 10:30 in the morning. Okay? See you then. Enjoy the moments. Bye.